What's up, CDL fans? So we have the official, or mostly somewhat official, CDL rosters for the Modern Warfare 2 season, posted by Crone on the Breaking Point website. Thank you all for all the recent support. I'm trying to hit 500 subs by the end of the year, so if you don't mind dropping a like and subscribing, I would really appreciate it. With that being said, let's just hop right into this article. Obviously, we already know the LA Thieves are sticking. We have the Optic roster confirmed sticking. Seattle Surge have all been, confirmed. Maybe they make a move, but it's not looking very likely. And then we have this new Minnesota Rocker team, which I had talked about in a previous video, of Afro, Attach, Bance, and Cammy, which seems to be like a top 4, top 5 team on paper. I think this team looks really good. You got leadership in Bance and Attach. Even Cammy can be a leader. You got that cracked out sub Afro. Bance can run your routes. Attach will run the main. Cammy runs the flex. I think this team looks really, really good. LAG, we briefly talked about in another video, so I won't go too into it, but Hook, Neptune, Spartan, arcitys, obviously not 100% confirmed, but looking very realistic here. Could be interesting. I mean, Hook, Neptune, and Spart doesn't sound like the greatest trio, but they really are grinders, and I could see them really turning some heads and making some noise next season. Faze are basically rumored and linked to be getting Slasher. For me personally, I still think the team with arcitys is better, but I think Slasher is probably the best replacement that they can get in the current market without any buyouts. Even with buyouts, I think Slasher is one of the better players they can get in this role. Veteran leader, he's a strong main AR presence on the map. He really knows how to keep people composed, especially, he's the king of losers bracket runs. I personally really like Slasher. I think he's super underrated, and I think he could fit really well on this team. We also know that Slasher has a history working with Crowder, and Crowder being FaZe's head coach, as long as he continues to stay as the head coach, which it looks like he will be. It looks like, they already had that relationship, so that's also good for this. The Toronto Ultra lineup is looking to be Kleenex, Insight, and Scrappy, and then probably Hixie as their fourth. Not 100% confirmed on Hixie. I personally think this roster looks okay. I think they can be really strong. I think Scrappy's going to be a favorite for Rookie of the Year, being the best Challengers player from this past season in Vanguard. Hixie could be really solid. He looked good in the series. He came in during the CDL season in this past season, and I think he could be good. Maybe they try to move him, or not move him. Maybe they try to keep him on the bench and try to bring in someone else, try to maybe sign like a Beans or a Wardy or out of someone else to kind of take this spot. But overall, this roster is not terrible. Here's a pretty interesting roster. The Boston Breach, we already know Nero Vivid is their SMG combo. Awakening is rumored to be coming in as their flex, and then it's between Clayster and Methods as their main AR. I think either of these works. I think Clayster's probably a little bit of a faster paced AR than Methods, which might work good because we know Nero and Vivid are like the fastest duo in the league, and then Awakening is a super fast AR flex player as well. So I think this could be a very good team if you bring in kind of like an anchor like Clayster Methods. For me, I don't really think I don't really have a preference in my own opinion. I think we saw how good Methods can be, so I think there's more safety in going with a guy like Methods when it comes to a pure slaying factor, but Clayster might be able to give you a little bit more of the leadership role. It kind of depends what you're looking for. I think if I really had to pick, I would lean towards Methods, just because we saw how good he can be on the slaying factor, and someone needs to be able to keep up slaying with this team. If you have these 4 players, with that fourth being Methods, I think this could be a really good slaying team. Subliners, pretty interesting. We already know the 3 of Kiz, Hydra, and Skies being the rumored trio. Bringing in Priesta as your flex, I do like it. I don't think this team is going to be outstanding. Maybe this is like a top 8 type team, just on paper. But I mean, you kind of, Skies is a solid main AR. We already know what Hydra and Kiz can do together. I think Priesta's a good glue guy. He can be a solid flex. He's been disappointing in the last couple years, but I think, with the right system around him, I think he can be good. Not sure if this is the right system for him, but I think Priesta is one of the better flexes left on the market, and I think could be solid in this role. For the Mutineers, it's looking very odd. So Major Maniac, Gizmo, Nasty, and Vickle is the rumors. So you got Vickle and Nasty being the SMGs. You got Gizmo on the flex and Major as the main AR. This roster isn't great, but I don't think it's too bad. Major Maniac's a good leader. I think he's, a very good guy to keep your team composed. We saw what Gizmo and Nasty could do at times last season. Well, Gizmo lackluster on land, but we saw how good he could be. And then Vickle, one of the top players in Challengers this past season. I think this roster could be solid. It also mentions down here that Asim, Gunless, Crimsic, Standy, Major, Havoc, a bunch of Challengers players are all ones that's rumored to this team. So I kind of think, there's a lot of good options here. Maybe you take out Nasty and you add in like a guy like Asim. I'm not really sure, but I think overall this roster is okay, but still probably probably like a top 10 type team. You know, maybe Nasty Gizmo 0 and Paul X. Obviously Nasty and Gizmo are also up here, so you might be able to, it's kind of, it hasn't been updated on here, but apparently if you take out Nasty or Gizmo, it could potentially be Wardy and Beans, actually, which the update is down here. I like this a lot better. Wardy, Beans, 0 and Paul X. I think this team could be very solid and could be very good for the London Royal Ravens. I don't know if they're not a top 6 team probably, but I do think they could be solid. Vegas, no idea what's going on with them. I mean, you know, maybe they bring in a veteran AR like Clayster or Crim6, but who knows if they want to pay that money. You know, maybe they bring in some sort of flex like TJ or Pista, but you know, once again, those are vets. Who knows what they want to do in that situation. You never really know what to expect from Vegas. I expect them to be the last team to sign a roster, so hopefully, you know, Donnie ends up getting some decent players around him and Vegas can make a little bit of noise this year and win more than 3 series. Thank you all so much for watching this quick video breaking down this article from Breaking Point and all the confirmed and rumored rosters. If you did enjoy, drop a like, subscribe for more CDL content, and I'll see you all in the next video.